This is the first of a series of video tutorials for the X-Craft's ERJ-175 Flight Management System. This will probably end up being the longest of the series simply because there's a lot of little details to cover. But here's the heart of the FMS, the MCDU, the Multi-Purpose Control Display Unit. Up top is your interaction area, the displayed data. In the middle, you've got your functional buttons, and of course, at the bottom, you've got your data entry pad for alphanumerics. Up top, it's interesting to note that if you've got an arrow in the screen that's pointing to a button, that button's a functional button at that point. It's live, and the label next to the arrow describes what it will do. Below the screen, you've got the two rows of functional buttons briefly described. You've got init for initialization, and this clears out the list of waypoints that X-Plane uses to drive the autopilot. If you have a list of waypoints or flight plans that's longer than 10 entries in length, you're going to have multiple pages, and previous and next buttons will take you from page to page to page in that case. If you're editing a SID or a star or even a route and you want to completely wipe the list clean, Clear will do that for you. That's what the CLR button's for. The right-facing arrow is direct to, typical symbol for that function, and that is, of course, where you would skip a number of waypoints in your flight plan after having selected a new destination waypoint. Exec is simply execute. Execute meaning this is the instruction we want to give the MCDU when we want to take our star, our route, and our SID and combine them all into one flight plan and enter that into the X-Plane navigation database for use by the autopilot. The second row of functional buttons starts with 5 buttons that delineate our 5 valid waypoint types: airport, VOR, NDB, fix, and latitude longitude. Next to those is a radio button, and this is simply a shortcut key to get you to the radio page. Below that, alphanumerics, nothing fancy there. The full alphabet, numbers 0 through 9. Want to be sure and pay attention to the backspace and the delete key, which are in the middle on the bottom, the left-facing arrow being backspace, and delete will delete the entire entry. All of the alphanumerics are entered into what's called a scratch pad. We'll see that in a later video, but essentially it's the very bottommost line of the MCDU screen, and if you have entered a whole string of data that ends up needing to be deleted, hitting the delete key will give you a fresh start at character number 1. That's pretty much all for the button-based data entry, but I will bring your attention to the knob that we have right here, and it's basically a rotating knob that will give you the ability to change which row is being highlighted when you have a page of waypoints and you want to select a particular waypoint for editing or make a selection of a flight plan from a list of flight plans when we get to the load function. It's pretty straightforward. If you want to go back up the page, you go counterclockwise. If you want to go down the page, you go clockwise. Once you get to the row you want, you click Select in the middle. And that's just a little bit of a highlight of the navigation tutorial, which will be next. We'll just go through a bunch of examples to kind of give you a feel for how you need to work your way through this FMS MCDU and accomplish what you need to do. That's all. Looking forward to the next video. Thanks for watching.